Nothing beats the experience of riding up and down the streets of Lakeland on a bike, and if you don't have a bike, you're in luck. There's a new program that can put you on the path and help you pedal to your destination. All the details are coming up on Polk Place. Hello and welcome to Polk Place. I'm your host, Dion Spires. Today in studio with me, we have Julie Townsend from the Lakeland Downtown Development Authority.
Hi.
How are you doing today, Julie?
Great, thanks for having me.
Of course, anytime. Today you're talking about a really cool project that Lakeland just kind of released recently. And I'm from Lakeland, so I can appreciate it because I know how beautiful Lakeland is to explore, especially that downtown area. So you guys have bikes now that you can rent, which is really cool for those who don't have bikes in the area. So tell me about this program. Tell me what it is.
Sure. So we partner with a company called Zagster, and there are many companies in the country that do Bikeshare, but we chose Zagster for a number of reasons, and certainly economy was one of them, and ease of use. But the program is actually called Swan City Cycles, because you get to name your own program. So we chose that name because it represents Lakeland well. And so we have 7 stations and 35 bikes, all within about a 2-mile radius of each other, so that we can keep that system kind of tight and users can use it within that system in a very dense urban setting in downtown and Dixieland.
Now with those 7 locations, you say they're all tight, and that's great because to return it, it's easy to get to those locations, but you're not required to stay within that small limit, right? Where can you take these bikes when you're riding around? Right,
well, once you unlock the bike from the station, it's just like any other bike. You can lock it up because it comes with its own individual U-lock. You can lock it up at any bike rack anywhere in the city while you're on your ride. So maybe you traveled 5 or 6 miles outside of that central core of where the system is, and you wanted to stop for a bite to eat, you just lock it up at any regular bike rack, or and then you just have your meal, and then as long as you return it back to a station when you're all done, you're good to go.
That's great. Total freedom then.
Yeah.
And you can basically return it to any of the stops, right? It doesn't have to be the same one that you took it to, or got it from, I should say.
Exactly. The stations are all part of the system. So when you start your ride, you're going to start at one of the 7 stations, and once you've completed your ride, when you're completely finished and ready to go home for the day, then you'll lock it up to any one of the 7 stations. So if you wanted to do a round trip because you drove to downtown or Dixieland to use it specifically, or if you wanted to end a ride at a different station and meet up with some friends and catch a ride home with them, you have the flexibility to do that.
Okay. Now, I was looking at your website, and there is a fee to use it, but I think it's pretty reasonable. Can you talk about the fees for what costs?
Well, when we looked at bike share systems throughout the country, they can be pretty pricey, and so they're not meant to pay for themselves. You're never going to pay for a system through user fees. Right. So we really wanted to make the system friendly to the average person and make sure that you have to have some kind of skin in the game, so you have to purchase something, but if you make it cost prohibitive, then nobody's going to use it. So our goal is to get people on the bikes and riding. So our annual membership is only $25 a year, and so what you get with that annual membership is you get unlimited 90-minute rides. And what that means is not 90 minutes a day. It means every time you unlock a bike and take it out for a ride and return it, as long as that one session with that bike is fewer than 90 minutes, you can do that 5, 6, 7, 8 times a day if you'd like. So it's unlimited rides within, as long as each ride is only 90 minutes or less.
Wow, and that's when you already have a membership, is that right?
Right, that's with the annual membership of $25 a year. But if you don't want to do an annual membership, you can do it by the hour, and it's $3 an hour, so that's great for tourists who are just visiting. Right. And then we have a monthly membership of $15.
Yeah, well, if you live here, the $25 yearly membership is a no-brainer.
Exactly.
It's a steal.
Exactly.
To see all the things that you can see in Lakeland and explore all of that, because even if you live in Lakeland, I've discovered recently that there's so much there that I didn't even know about, and I've been there my whole life. So there's plenty to explore.
There's a lot of things to look at, and from the bike view, it's much more pleasurable than just driving around, because you can really focus on the beauty of the lakes and the public art that is scattered throughout Dixieland and downtown. So we're really hopeful and encouraged by the number of people that have already signed up for the program. Our goal was to have 1,000 users by the end of December, because we started right before Christmas in 2015. Okay. And so we wanted to give the full first year, we wanted to reach 1,000 users. Well, we're already at 525, wow. And it's only April. So we're really excited about the number of people that have signed up. And just want to get to that 1,000, way faster than the end of the year, because now we want to make that goal maybe 1,500 just to get the ball rolling. But we really feel like it's something that sets Lakeland apart from cities its size. Tampa has it, Orlando has it, and everyone thinks about, how can Lakeland be cool like these other cities, and we want all these amenities, but there's a price tag with all of those. And so we were lucky enough to get sponsorships for this entire program. So no city general fund dollars were used to fund this program. It was all done through sponsorships.
That's fantastic. Definitely a plus. And one of the things that I think can kind of help with the kind of pushing to get more people using it is for people to know that Lakeland is a bike-friendly community. They were certified as a bike-friendly community back in 2012, if I'm not mistaken. Can you tell the viewers what that means for them?
Yeah, well, Lakeland's a bronze level bike-friendly community, and that means that it has in place amenities for bicycling, bike lanes, bike safety features, things of that nature that got us to that level. And then we're hoping that we'll get to the silver level, because we've added Bikeshare, and we've finished 3 parks trails. I think there are 62 miles of bike lanes in the city. There's over 1,000 bike racks. So encouraging bicycling not only for recreation, but also as a mode of transportation. And the kind of infrastructure that the city has put in place to support bicycling is what got us to the bronze level. And so, there's a gold level, of course, and we want to aspire to that. So we're hoping that things like Bikeshare and the additional trails that the city put in just at the end of last year, all of those things will help us reach silver and then ultimately gold.
Definitely. Now, I know that you're kind of prepared to do a little demonstration, because this is a really cool concept. It comes with its own lock and everything, and it's a little technological. So for the people who are maybe not so technologically savvy, it may be intimidating. So can you kind of demonstrate for us how all of this works?
Sure. Well, absolutely. Well, first of all, a lot of folks have the misconception that you can just walk up to a station and stick in a credit card and go. And that's not the kind of system that this is. There are systems like that in the country, and those cost hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. And so that kind of technology was out of our reach in order to provide this kind of service here in Lakeland. So we decided to go with a little less technical type system with Zagster, but it's very user-friendly. Once you get used to it, once you understand how the whole process works, it's really very easy. So just like you would Netflix or Amazon Prime, you got to go to a website and you have to sign up and register for an account. So once you have an account, it's all cell phone based. So you don't have to have a smartphone, but you do have to have a cell phone. So one cell phone, one user, one bike at a time. That's kind of the rules of one, 3 rules of one. So basically, once you have your membership, then you can either use the app for a smartphone, or you can do it by text. So if you don't have a smartphone, you can just do the same kind of things through text. And you're going to send the number of the bike. Each bike has its own number. You're going to send that to the universe of Zagster through the app or through the texting, and it's going to send you back a code that's going to unlock this. So you're going to unlock, and I'll stand up and show you. So once you have your code, you're going to hit enter. You're going to punch in the number that it sends back to you immediately on your phone, and then it's going to unlock this little magic box. And the magic box has the key inside. And what's really smart is that the key is attached, because we know that if you stick it in your pocket, you're probably going to lose it. So they were very smart to have that attached. Now the lock is usually locked to the bike and to a station, so you're going to unlock it like you would any U-lock. Most bikers understand that this is a typical lock that you can use for your bike. It's called a U-lock. So once you unlock it from the station, you want to lock it back to itself so that it doesn't come apart, and then you store it right here in a little harness. And then you can just put the key back in there, lock the box, shut the box nice and tight so it doesn't jiggle while you ride, and you're on your way. And then when you're ready to finish your ride, same thing, punch in the number so that you get access to this key, lock it back to the station, make sure that the box is nice and secure, and then you're all done.
Sounds easy enough, right?
Yeah.
And you mentioned the app. I know not everyone has a smartphone, but if they do, I understand that the app makes it pretty convenient to keep up with your rental of the bike and that sort of thing. So can you talk about what you can do with the app?
Yeah, well, the app will keep a timer of your ride. So if you are, conscious about if you've been over that 90 minutes, if you're an annual user, or if you're just an hourly user, it's going to keep a timer and let you know how long you've been on that ride. It also has a full map of where all the stations are. So if you are off on a ride and you're getting a little tired and you want to be done, you can use the app to find the nearest station. And it also gives you destinations. So you can actually sort of map your ride a little bit, so it can tell you if you're trying to get to a certain place, what route you should take. So it's got a little bit of, sort of a Google Maps feature to it that allows you to use it as a way to get around.
Nice. So no getting lost on this ride.
No getting lost.
Hopefully. So before we end the time here, just remind the viewers, where are those 7 locations where they can get involved with it?
Okay, so the 7 locations, there's one in Dixieland, which is right next to Fat Maggie's and Concord Coffee. There's one on the campus at Florida Southern College, which is one of our sponsors. Yeah. There's one at the Polk Museum of Art, which is also one of our sponsors. And downtown in Munn Park, obviously, got to have one in the center of the city. Lakeland Center, which is nice because we can get users that are visiting the Lakeland Center to use a bike rather than drive a car downtown to visit some of the restaurants and retail stores. Then we have one at Lake Parker near the Government Center, where the city has a lot of its training offices and the old courthouse and the Government Center there. And then we have one at Rose Street, which is on the corner of where Main meets the Lake Mirror, near Poor Porker and Lakeland Brewing Company. So there's a total of 7. I think I hit all 7.
Hopefully. Have you used the bike yourself yet?
I do. I use it quite frequently. It's a lot of fun. I don't own my own bike.
Okay.
I did years ago, and every time I would be inspired to ride, I'd go in my shed and the tires would be flat or the chain would be off, so it was very discouraging because I'm not very good at maintenance. Okay. So what's so great about this is that if you are sort of a casual rider and you're not really serious about taking care of that bike, because bikes do need maintenance. They don't just magically stay all together in your shed. Right. So you really need to think about the ongoing maintenance of the tires and the spokes and the chain and all of that and the gears. And so what's great is that it's always ready to go. All I have to do is walk down to a station and check one out, and I get a great ride, and then I don't have to deal with it anymore. I don't have to worry about it. And the seat is adjustable, so any height. It's got a little 7 gears, and then of course the best feature.
Say I'm coming, right?
Bell in the basket. The bell and the basket are very cool.
Necessities for a bike, right?
Absolutely.
And I have to ask you too, just because I'm curious, what is your favorite thing to look at while you're riding around? Like, what is the site that you've enjoyed most that you've seen in Lakeland as you've been going?
I just love riding around Lake Morton. I live in that area, and just sort of taking some of the streets that I don't normally drive in my car through the neighborhood and looking at the houses and just experiencing it from that street level versus, zooming past in a car. We just have such beautiful amenities here in the city. We aren't oceanfront. We're not a Gulf Coast community. But Lakeland has a lot of beautiful features, and so the lakes are what we pride ourselves on, and so I just love riding around Lake Mirror, Lake Morton, and seeing all the hustle and bustle of the neighborhoods that surround those areas.
Yeah, there is a lot of beauty there between the houses and the greenery, and there's so many lakes in that small, tight-knit area. There's Mirror, Morton, and Hollingsworth off the top of my head. Right. And then you've got the Swans around Morton, and you've even got like the Swan statues and stuff. So there's so many things that you will miss going 30, 40 miles past in your car.
Exactly.
So this is a great idea that you guys have brought to Lakeland, and I'm excited about it.
And it's good exercise, even if it's only 10 minits a day, even if it's just a casual ride. It's just a great way to get out and breathe fresh air and feel the wind in your hair, and just, kind of helps you feel alive and makes you realize that there's more to life than just getting from point A to point B. There's actual pleasure in the ride.
Well, thank you so much for being here and talking about the bikes.
Thanks.
I'm excited about it. Maybe I'll rent one out soon.
I will look for your name. I will look.
I'm going to keep tabs on it.
That's right.
Locals and visitors to Lakeland should check out Bikeshare for Lakeland. Membership in the Lakeland Bikeshare is open to all members of the public 18 years of age or older. You must have a valid credit or debit card to become a member of the Bikeshare. Bikeshare is for those who love fresh air, good exercise, and emission-free transportation. Memberships are available by the hour, annual, and monthly. For more information, check them out on the web at www.zagster.com/Lakeland.